¿Cómo está, señora? ¿Dónde los están llevando? ¿Dónde los están llevando?
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us this truth and rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kudash, Barakatham. It's the brother Kazar coming back at it again with another lesson, and the title of this lesson is going to be Another Wake-Up Call for you so-called Latinos. All right, not usually, do lessons like this, but hey, man, it has to come out every now and then, man, because one thing about the so-called Latinos, is they think because we could just come here, work, and, we a few shades, lighter than the so-called Negroes, that we not under the curses, that we don't have enemies, we don't have no oppression, it's really, that's where you got to step back and look at the bigger picture, man. All right. For example, you are a so-called Latino, you originate from this side of the world. Well, not necessarily originate from this side of the world, but, we've been inhabiting, this side of the world. Why are you considered to be an illegal immigrant in a country that was on this side of the world? That's basically on supposedly your side, dealing with the whole American continent on this side of the hemisphere. Why is it that, you go to these Latin American countries, all the resources are controlled by the so-called white man and their different companies, and they export your resources to put themselves to use for their growth? Why? You know what I'm saying? So we see things like this, and then we look out and observe that you so-called Latinos think that, you basically like so-called white people. It's really, vexing, man. And that's why you got to do a lesson like this so they could know, all right, the ones that are going to receive it, Lord willing to be of the elect, you know what I'm saying? So they could learn and understand the predicament that we're in as a nation, all right, as so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans making up the 12 tribes of Israel, man, So let's get into this article, man. And it reads, the migrants lasted less than 2 days on the affluent island of Martha's Vineyard. So they were basically flown, to a fancy, neighborhood in the U.S., as a form of sanctuary. Now, this wasn't even that at all. All right. This wasn't even that at all. This whole thing was a political stunt. All right. Now, see, things are really, starting to make sense. And it really, it's really vexing. You got stuff like this happening, and the so-called Latinos is complacent as hell, man. Here it is. You got 50 people, illegal immigrants, which they shouldn't be illegal immigrants. You look at the history of how this place was set up, man. But you got 50 people that were flown into this area by some politician, to basically, further his political agenda. That's what it all happened for, and they're using, so-called Latinos, objectifying them, as political props in order to further whatever, low-level agenda these people have, because that's really what it is. You look at the grand scheme of things, you got the Rothschilds at the top, calling the shots and moving the world into the enterprise that they're trying to, move it for. These little, politicians, they're nothing compared to them. But let's get into it. It says Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker activated the National Guard to deal with 50 illegal immigrants flown into the sanctuary of Martha's Vineyard by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Right. So as you can see, this whole thing was over a political motives. All right. And we're going to read that. OK, it's going to become even more clear. It says the migrants were removed from the island and sent to a military base. Hey, DeSantis sent 2 plane loads of migrants to Martha's Vineyard on Wednesday in a bid to draw attention to the president apparent failure to secure U.S.'s border with Mexico. You see? And to protest his administration practice of shipping large groups of migrants from the border town to towns and cities across the U.S., often without the permission of state authorities. The new arrivals lasted less than 2 days on the affluent island after declaring the situation a humanitarian crisis. All right, and you know what basically happened, man. You basically, they was, living in that little town, and, them Edomites started tripping, man. You know what I'm saying? They like, nah, we don't want, these, Latinos, in our neighborhood. We don't want these, what the bywords for us, spics, wetbacks. We don't want them in our neighborhoods, And this is the problem with you so-called Latinos is you don't see this, man. But it's all good because, these things need to happen for them to start waking up, And it's really Yahweh Shem Yahushai, doing this, man. All right, because Israel is wicked right now, from Judah on down to Issachar, man. Completely wicked. They don't know who they are. But there's a remnant being taken out of them. All right, there's a remnant being, sealed amongst our people. Lord willing, us in his knowledge we're of that number. You know what I'm saying? And those that, come in swiftly, man, so we could get up out of here. And that's the purpose of such lessons as this, man. All right, so continuing on, and it reads, all right, let me see. All right, let's continue on reading this one. It says the new arrivals lasted less than 2 days on the affluent island. Dang, they didn't even get to finish the week. Less than 2 days. And it was such a serious threat. They called up the army on them. You know what I'm saying? They were moved to a military base. And then you saw from the original video. Let's play the video again. Let's see, what type of people they taking to the base, man. Look at them with the women and children. But you mean to tell me that, you could be just like the so-called white man, and and that you don't have a problem in this society, and we have no enemies, and nobody's oppressing us. Yeah, right, man. Continuing on in this, and it reads, Baker said that the migrants who mostly hail from Venezuela will be given temporary shelter and humanitarian services at the base. All right, so they basically moved them out, man. All right, Martha's Vineyard is a popular summer retreat for America's elite, sitting in the Atlantic just south of Cape Cod. It is around 90% white. Hey, man, you love to hear it, right? And its residents overwhelmingly voted for Biden in 2020. Okay, so you see, it's all political, man. All right. The median home value on Martha's Vineyard is just under $800,000, and former President Barack Obama owns a $12 million mansion on the island. So this is a big stunt, man. And these are the type of games that they playing, with our people, man. Ultimately, and you got our people that's gonna fall for the okie doke, whatever. You got so-called Latinos that's gonna see this and still support whatever a politician push this in the first place, man. What's his name? Let me see. Ron DeSantis. Yeah, you got so-called Latinos that's going to support this dude, man. And what he pushes, because that's just the state of our people. Completely lost. Having no guidance, no nothing at all to rule them. That's why the elect, need to be set back in place by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai. Because ultimately we going to be, ruling in righteousness. Ultimately, we're all going to inherit the new bodies, but the world has to just be set back in its proper course, man. All right, continue on. It says, sitting in the Atlantic of South Cape Cod, it is 90% white, and its residents overwhelmingly voted for Biden. The median home, okay, we read that part already, Salakia. All right, continuing on, and it reads, while Martha's Vineyard did not declare itself a sanctuary jurisdiction, as some cities in the United States and municipalities did during the Trump administration, to signify that they would not enforce federal immigration laws. All right, and because them laws is wicked, man. Okay, it's oppression is what it is. All right, because here it is. How did this devil take this basically this side of the world from the people that were already inhabiting this place, which is the so-called Latinos and Native Americans? How? Through bloodshed and genocide, man. Slavery too. That's how they did it. That's why the scriptures say, let's bring it out in the book of Nahum chapter 3. All right, it reads, "Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." Okay, and that's why, this place is a place described as a bloody city. Why? Because of all the blood that was shed here from the so-called blacks, the so-called Native Americans, and also the so-called Latinos, man. Because they were part of the indigenous, group here. So this place is a place of lies and robbery, and it's bloody because of all the slaughter that took place, man. You got all these covenants, treaties, that this government had with the so-called Native Americans, which is Hebrew Israelites of the tribe of Gad. And you see all them hundreds of peace treaties that they broke. There's no way this devil could be trusted, man. Continuing on, and it reads, and that's one of my biggest gripes, and the truth is seeing the complacency of the Northern Kingdom, man. So that's why, through the Spirit, got to do these every once in a while. Continuing on, once the two plane loads of immigrants arrived, however, Baker declared that the island communities are not equipped to provide sustainable accommodation, and locals told reporters that they have to move somewhere else. Republicans countered the 50 migrants represent just a fraction of the tens of thousands who enter border communities every month. We are not a sanctuary state. So this dude did this just to stop, giving aid, to the so-called illegal immigrants, man. Which I say so-called illegal immigrants because they really not the immigrants, man. It's continuing on, and it reads, all right. They talking about moving them somewhere else. Our Republicans are playing politics with human beings. Biden said on Thursday, claiming that this process, it's like that there is a process in place to manage migrants at the border. Yeah, because that's basically the whole situation, man. And the article it states that these people are from Venezuela. As it says right there in that paragraph, and it makes sense because you hear the woman, her accent. As she's speaking in Spanish, she's asking them, "Yo, where are you taking these people?" And you could tell by her accent she's from the land of Asher. But this is just another wake up call for you so-called Latinos, man. You gotta wise up, man. All right, I'm gonna read this again. Nahum chapter 3 and 1. "Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." All right, and get another one too. All right, because the majority of our people that's going to be destroyed are the ones that's going to come to the devil for help, man. All right, continuing on, Isaiah 31 and 1, it reads, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many." Basically, the military, power and capabilities of America, is one of the reasons why, a lot of these jakes, man, they put so much, faith in on this devil, man, and this wicked ass kingdom, or should I say queendom. All right, because many times I hear him say, "Oh man, the American army, it's the biggest army. Nobody could mess with us. They can't do anything against us. This place about to be destroyed by ICBM missiles, man." So Isaiah 31 and 1, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many." And another thing too is because they are carnal minded. All right, they don't see things in the spirit. They see materialistic things. And that's basically the state of your average Jake, man. They got taken out that spiritual mind frame, and now they just as dogs chasing bones out here, man. Because the world that this devil provides to him here in Babylon, all right, is a world where you do nothing but chase after the flesh, when you should be seeking Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai as a black Latino Native American. All right, so continue on, and it reads, "Because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai." All right. And as a result, a lot of these, migrants, Salakia, all right, going back to the article, a lot of these migrants that's coming here, to Babylon is going to be destroyed. Hey, now you may have, the elect scattered amongst them, that might come across a camp or whatnot, coming to the truth, and work out his salvation, because at the end of the things, all things work together for the good to them that love Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But the majority of these people, they ain't thinking about the Lord, man. They trying to find, better ways to improve their livelihoods. All right. And they coming here to Babylon, man. They gonna wait, man. They got a huge, nightmare. You're getting ready to wake up in. All right. Because this place is going to be destroyed, man. All right. And before that, it's going to be, hell on earth. Okay. So these people, they're going to fall under this category, for being basically simple, man. All right. Let's continue on, with another, another verse. Primarily, this is going to be a verse that goes into, you know what I'm saying, are people being simple out here, man. All right. But also, too, to go into, the predicament of our people, man. Isaiah chapter 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. All right. And why do, I say that through the Spirit is because you go to them, you go to their countries, man. It's nothing but foreign companies taking away their resources, and resources is one of the things that facilitate prosperity and growth in a region. Here it is, they finding all manner of different resources in these Latin American countries. Hey, man, so-called Latinos are not running the house, man. All right. And as a result, what happens? They, you got these companies moving in, they get more money, right? And what happens with the indigenous population? They get what's that word? They get basically tossed to the side. They get marginalized. That's why you have, in Brazil, for example. Let's bring that out. All right, Brazil, poverty. Let's say poverty line. I think it is that one. All right, this the best, way to put it, man. Let me see. So I know it's a good one. Somewhere out here. Let's bring it out. Let me see. Let's click on that one, and then no, there's no more coming out. But basically, you know what? Let's go with this one. Yeah, there we go. That's a better one. This where all them executives live, right? These different, nations that come and prosper from the place. And this is where Jake lives, man. And that's where they mainly be at, So let's continue on with the scriptures. All right. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 42. It's like verse 22. All right. And it reads, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. Okay. And that's the truth, man. All right. Because you see all the, the extent that this devil was able to build himself up, and then you look at the state of our people. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious who, the person and that, the nation that was robbed and spoiled was, man. All right. And at the end of the day, it was all for punishment because we went off, as a nation. And they still over there going off, man. Not even over here, So guess what? Jacob's trouble is going to happen. It's going to be the last go around. All right. Continue on and reads, they are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. All right. And that goes into the what's it called? The prison system here in the States, man. Private prison companies. How you got different companies that profit off prisoners. It's basically slave labor, man. And there's nothing new under the sun. But these are the agendas that they put out. That's why they, put out this, the gangster lifestyle. That's why they put that out in the hip hop, to get the kids to do that and go to jail, so that these people in the prison complexes could profit too. All right, but this also applies to the situation with the so-called Latinos that get detained and they cross over here, man, because basically they in prison houses, man. What do you think? They went from a fancy neighborhood in the U.S., all right, somewhere out there in the East Coast, to a fucking military base. They in prison houses, man. And you so-called Latinos, you are not free by any means, man. That's the thing. So you think because, you're a few shades lighter than the so-called black man. All right. You think because, you work hard and you do, you fit the shape in the puzzle, if you will, so you could fit in here that's cool and the nations is cool with you. No, man. No. You are a tool here, man. All right. The little shape you want to fit in, that you're a worker ant, man. You're not calling nothing over here, But hey, if you just want to, live in a nicer apartment, and you feel that's cool and you want to turn a blind eye, at the situations of your people, then that's a complete shame on you. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai doesn't like that, man. Continuing on, and it reads, they are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. All right, because at the end of the day, what happened here was an exploitation of the tribe of Asher. All right, because they were from Venezuela. That's where the tribe of Asher is. Verse 23: Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, he against whom we have sinned? Exactly. We're in this predicament because we went off. All right, but we turn back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and that's when we're gonna be restored. And it's not gonna be no, revolutionary person, no Nat Turner or I'm trying to think of a good, Che Guevara, them, revolutionary figures that's gonna restore us. No, it's gonna be Yahweh Shai, hence his name. He delivers, man. It's continuing on, and it reads, all right, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. And that's where it covers that part too, because, ultimately it's nothing but idolatry going on amongst the so-called Latinos. Nothing but idolatry. You cannot go to a Latin American household, which I don't even want to say Latin American. You cannot go to a Northern Kingdom household and not find, somewhere in the house an idol hanging up, man. Verse 25, therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of the battle. And they hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. You see? Because even though we're being jacked up, they're not gonna know why they're being jacked up for, man. You got children in cages, right? You go to a country that is in the same land mass basically as the land that your ancestors were living in, right? And they say you are not allowed, you are immigrant, But yeah, keep thinking that you free and you know what I'm saying? You could be just like the so-called white man in these other nations, man. Keep on thinking that. Here it is, these other nations receive all type of, goods. They receive all type of benefits and programs so they could set up them liquor stores in your communities. Meanwhile, you think you free. See, he give, these other nations, Esau give them a pass. He tell them, okay, here, you could have this, that, we gave you a grant, $100,000, open a liquor store, whatever. And that's it. Meanwhile, you nations, what do you get? Your children thrown in cages. You know what I'm saying? You get flown into military bases. Man, there ain't no 5-star service in the military bases, man. But hey, that's why these lessons, got to keep on coming out, man. All right. So with that, we're going to end it up with arise, wake. Let me see. Oh, that's why. The whole Bible. Oh, wow. All right. Let me see. Yep, Romans chapter 13, verse 11. Let's get it. All right. So lucky if this was, kind of a rant. Hey, sometimes, you got to let one of those off, man, a righteous rant, especially when you get very, frustrated and vexed with your people. Something like this, because truth is, all right, and Salak, I'm not trying to dwell on this for too long, but something like this should be on the headlines. A Latin American, so-called Latin Americans being used as political props, to exploit people. And you got to understand too, the people that were going through this as well. Did they know that they were being used for some political gain, right? Did they imagine that they would come to this area and then they will get kicked out and have to put into a military base? Could you imagine the confusion they're going through? But such are the things that need to come to pass so that our people could wake up to the to the whole to the big picture, man. So let's continue on. All right, the book of Romans chapter, let me see. Yeah, Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And the reason that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. All right, and the key point is knowing the time, man. Okay, because there's gonna be a time when it's too late to turn to the Lord, when all hell done broke loose, and now you sitting there, you asked out, and now all of a sudden, you want to be like that unfaithful, unloyal chick that gonna call you when she needs something. You got to get her out of a jam or whatever. And now she want to call you. You don't want to be like that with the Lord, because the Lord ain't no trick, man. The Lord ain't no simp. Okay, and that's going into the the similitude, of the Lord being, the husband, and us Israel being the bride, being the wife. Many scriptures that go into that. All right, and that goes to show the love that the Lord has for us. Okay, so Romans chapter 13 and 11, we'll read it again, and it reads, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. All right, because what is sleep? Us being in this, zombie-like, hamster wheel-like state. Now, it's not to say, it's wicked to have a job, but when that's all that your life consists of, that's the state of sleep, man. Because really, what dictates, whether you're asleep or not, is the fact that if you're seeking Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you got so much, even on that term, misinformation on that, I don't want to say doctrine. So it is a doctrine in a sense. All right. Because you got people, call it the woke community. You have to do this and be woke, and see that's how, the efforts of the left hand side, to try and combat the truth, man. The truth is, about being sleeping is when you are not seeking Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. When you're seeking after pleasures instead. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, you're not seeking for the Lord to deliver you, man. All right? Because that's the state that's going to come. And that's why it's important to know the time, because all hell is about to break loose, man. All right, so I'm going to read this again. Romans 13 and 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believed. And that's the truth, man. And through the Spirit, Lord willing, I'm going to start making more lessons, concerning the so-called Latinos, help out with the elect coming in, Lord willing, whatever I could do. But hey, with that, I'm going to say, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakah Kodash. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, it's an edifying lesson, kind of turn into a rant, but sometimes, you need to let it out, man, especially when, dealing with stiff-necked people, and ultimately that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai could hear our frustrations and do something, as far as that situation goes. All right. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, on to the next.